Once again, we are back on Ek Pun Soch Ki Tea Talk, Train of and Thought, with a series of an episodes what we are having with Dr. Neil Sequeira, sir.
Hi.
So it's an interesting journey, real great insight. Many a time what happened, like, now in B school we are taught like this is how you should plan your career right from day one, be well focused on those relevant aspects. And today's youth, if you'll see, like they want fast money, they want fast growth, they want a fast career. Like your journey has been very interesting, where I think the goal setting at that point of time was not there. What you enjoyed the most, you have been doing. Like now, as a vice president HR with LB Express, what was your experience over there?
I joined there as Vice President HR and Administration, and the company did well for some point of time. And then after some point of time, the company had a huge financial crunch. LB Express taught me one thing, that the biggest challenge for any HR professional is when you are unable to pay salaries.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you there is no bigger challenge for any HR professional, because he becomes a face. He is ironically not responsible for not payment of salaries.
Yeah.
But every employee comes to him. Not only, that he is unable to do anything, and that's where the frustration sets in. Imagine a situation where you are supposed to face employees, you're supposed to face their families, your employees have not been paid for 2 months, 3 months, and you can't do anything about it. It was probably a very, very challenging part of my career, and it taught me how difficult it is to actually run any kind of a setup where you are unable to pay salaries.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets pretty murky and pretty bad, because you see the problem that people are going through, especially your delivery boys. They had delivery boys. They had small depot agents who are making 10,000, 15,000 rupees a month, and their entire family was running on them. And if you delay salaries, they get very upset. They genuinely have problems and things like that. So it was very, very tough. That was
in HR, it looks very good when you recruit people. They thank you for everything, but when if you have to sack,
then
no, that's a toughest part.
I think most of the people look at things from always their perspective, and I don't blame them for that. Normally, I think as leaders we are supposed to take responsibility, but many a times, a leader, though he would want to do many things, he is unable to do that. His hands are tied, especially if there are financial crunches or decision making by the management, or sometimes by the board, and that is where the challenge is. Because your heart is saying something. So there's huge amount of dissonance that you go through. The pain comes from the fact that you're unable to resolve this huge cognitive dissonance that you have. Your value system tells you something.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do something and you're unable to do it. Your value system says that, especially mine, says that you got to be fair, you got to pay your employees on time. You go back to your management. Your management says, Neil, sorry, we don't have money. You manage them. And it was a terrible time. Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hesitate in telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably one of the most toughest points of my career. I also didn't get paid,
mm-hmm.
but I, of course, could have managed. Managers, see, and what happens is that managers and other people get jobs, but when companies don't do well, companies go bankrupt. I think you create a huge socio-economic issue down there. Yeah.
So that needs to be taken care of. And then how was your Hinduja hospital? You got into Hinduja?
I never wanted to work for a hospital. Now, this is another thing.
Switch over for.
My dream job, I was telling this to somebody the other day. My dream job was MTV, Channel V, where the band baja, everything.
One second, before, I think through our research also, we have recollected. I think you've done, you're part of some modeling also. Modeling yourself.
I was a model once upon a time.
Yeah.
A consultant called me and he said that there's a good role in Hinduja Hospital, and I said okay, I'll go.
So before we get into Hinduja Hospital, we'd like to know what your modeling is. We can understand like how you have maintained yourself till now, and somewhere down the end, your passion रहता है ना आप में, and that I think we are going to
Now
run
you're
on
putting me in
screen.
a tight spot.
We are going to run on screen also your old modeling cases, which I think our target audience will watch.
Uh,
So very interesting.
that I was doing something I was doing a small diploma in international trade management at NM,
Mm.
and NM used to have this this annual show, and some guy said, Neil, why don't you try it? And I went and I tried and I got selected, and I walked the ramp, and after I walked the ramp I got two, three, four assignments. And I think my mother at that point of time said, if this guy is going to get into modeling,
Well,
the wine and the women are going to ruin him. She told me very categorically, you got to stop this, focus on his studies, and that's how it.
but आपको कभी ऐसे नहीं लगा नहीं you should have continued with modeling?
Yeah, when I see when I see models, I still feel that. But Cheema sir, I have never regretted any decisions I've taken in my life. There are a couple of those which I have, but I have never regretted any decisions. I think I have been everything. I have been able to get into everything without any major mishaps, and God has been kind to me.
Okay, so with now with Hinduja Hospital,
So I was putting it off, and then the consultant girl told me, you're meeting the CEO there, and I think you should go and meet him once, because it's very rude of you to cancel. So I went and I met a fantastic gentleman called Mr. Lele, one of the best bosses I've ever worked for. I still talk to him many a times. I went and I told him, sir, you know what, I don't want to work for a hospital. I've just come because of this has happened. And it was so gracious and nice of him to actually laugh about it. And then he sat and he told me what you do and what they do, etc. And I said, wow. I said, one of the things he said is that, this is a great opportunity for you to do, this thing. And Hinduja Hospital actually, has a tagline. It was by Lalita Girdhar Hinduja. She used to say, Rugna Seva, Hi Ishwar Seva. And I think so that tagline actually tugged my heart, and I said, okay, this is something which I can actually make a change.
एक बूंद सोच की वहाँ से शुरुआत हुई आपको हॉस्पिटल की, जहाँ पे आपको दिल में लगा ईश्वर की सेवा है
Yeah. I thought that this is a great opportunity where you can help people, touch the lives of people, reduce pain of people, and that's how I actually got into Hinduja.
कहाँ ना कहाँ पे जाके अगर आप एक बूंद सोची जहाँ आपको दिल को लग जाती है, I'm sure then I think it becomes an ocean. Now
Yes.
Here is a main core experience into the hospital and the health industry, amazing. Sir, please.
Yeah. And then, of course, I learned about the healthcare industry in Hinduja. I had the great opportunity to work with some great doctors, understand how the business works, understand, it's a very, very different kind of a business when you compare it to the other businesses that you have. And, it actually tells you, if you work for the healthcare industry, it actually tells you one thing of how you should appreciate what you have. And it also tells you that the greatest things that you have, you take it for granted, like your health.
Yeah, correct.
We take our good health. So many people out there have got great, amazing health. You take it for granted. And it also makes you realize, some people would call it spirituality, some people would call it religion. It makes you realize that you should enjoy every day given by the Lord to the best of ability, because you really don't know tomorrow what's going to happen.
Well, one thing being a part of an engineering first and then a part of an courier company and getting into the health sector and whereas do you think the HR professional if they're into that particular domain they can do well, or it's
I can tell you, sir, HR professionals can actually do well in any kind of a business. The business, as long as you're able to understand what the business is. Every business in terms of people has a different set of requirements. I worked in financial services, the requirements are different. I worked in healthcare, the requirements are different. I worked in logistics, the requirements are different. It's very essential for HR professionals to actually understand the business. And that is what I always tell budding young HR professionals, that HR is not about HR. HR is about people, and it is about those applicability of those people into the business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it is nothing difficult to, it is not difficult at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually sit and anything and everything, sir, in this world, if you make an attempt to understand, you will understand. The question is about time.
Time, yeah. Correct.
You have to be patient enough. You have to be constantly having that penchant enough. Imagine, the Buddha actually going and, saying that I want to actually get all the knowledge in one day. He had to spend years.
Years and years. Correct. There's no shortcut in life.
There's no shortcut in life. Even whether it was great people like Newton or Edison, etc., they never went. They were never shortcuts. And I think that is what sometimes, disturbs me when I see people extremely impatient who want quick results, fast results. And then they try to get shortcuts. But sometimes in life there are no shortcuts. I believe there are no shortcuts in life.
Basic foundation needs to be pretty
Basic
strong.
foundation needs to be strong. You need to have a belief that it will happen to you. When it has to happen to you, you got to continue working towards it. That's what.
So being in Hinduja Hospital, more towards the business development, organization development, and the recruitment training and program. I think we'll try and seek more insights about your role in that. And this was a really interesting, about your LV and your Hinduja Hospital journey. I'm sure, if you see the journey, if you see the challenges which are there, we stay tuned to Tea Talk Ek Boon Soch Ki with Dr. Neil Sequeira in our next episode. Till then, go to www.ttalk.net, subscribe and like the channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.